Greetings fellow humans, it's Melinda the Good here, and today we have the top 8 best cards of the new Hearthstone Un'Goro expansion. Now it was so hard just to pick 8 cards because there are so many great cards out there. I'm so excited for this new expansion. But coming in at number 8 is the Galaga Crawler. Its battlecry, destroy a pirate and gain +1/+1. Originally I was planning to do this card as an honorable mention, but this card made it onto this list because of my absolute hatred for those pirate aggro decks. This is basically a hungry crab for pirates, and hopefully it will be good enough to shut down that early game aggression. I personally will be playing at least one of the crawlers in each of my decks until those pirate decks are dead. Now when I first did this top 8 list, I thought it would be full of Charmin cards, and I wasn't completely wrong, but I was also pleasantly surprised to see that Mage had quite a few very decent cards as well. And coming in at number 7 is the Archaeologist. Its battlecry, draw a secret from your deck. So this card isn't as great as the Mad Scientist, which puts a secret from your deck into play. But I think this card is much better suited for mages because it lets you control when you put out certain secrets. Unlike hunters, where you don't mind if your secrets are popped quickly because you want to damage face as fast as possible, for mages, you don't want to play certain secrets early, especially like Mirror Entity. You don't want to Mirror Entity a low-cost minion. Mirror Entity works best later game. So Archaeologist pulls a secret from your deck and lets you hold on to that secret to play when you want it to. And I actually think that this card will be pretty useful and will be played in most secret mage decks. In number 6 is the Sunkeeper Karen. This is the Paladin legendary. It has taunt and battlecry, set all other minions attack and health to 3. Now Paladins haven't really gotten a good legendary for a very long time. And the Sunkeeper isn't the most intimidating legendary there is. It only has 3 attack and 7 health. Not very scary. Its battlecry is similar to the Keeper of Uldaman's battlecry, except it affects all minions on board. And the Keeper synergizes so well with things like the True Silver. I think this is going to be a useful battlecry. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me, but in this expansion, there are so many fat minions. There are so many large, scary minions that having an extra way to deal with them is going to be extremely helpful. So if your board is full of your 1/1 token dudes, and they have a bunch of large minions on board, you play this legendary, and you could very easily clear the board. And I think you could gain a lot of great value if you play this card right. This minion will be very good in a lot of control paladin decks, and it will be very strong for board control. In number 5 is the neutral legendary Osric. It has taunt and battlecry, gain +5 health for each elemental you played last turn. So there are 2 things that are really good with this minion. I know that 9 mana is pretty expensive, but first of all, gaining +5 health is insane. This minion is going to get so big because elementals aren't exactly super expensive. There are a lot of cheap elementals now, and they synergize well with each other, and they can board clear, so putting out elementals will not be detrimental. And because if you're playing this card at turn 9, turn 8 is plenty of mana. Secondly, unlike the mech synergies, you don't need these elementals alive when you go to turn 9. You just need to play them. So you don't even need the elementals on the board at all. As long as you played it the turn before, you could easily set up for a giant Osric. At minimum, I think you could very easily get a 5/15 minion on turn 9. And because it has taunt, it's going to be insane. In number 4 is another elemental, the Blazecaller. Its battlecry, if you played an elemental last turn, deal 5 damage. So similar to Osric, you don't need the elemental to be alive, you just need to have played it the turn before. And 5 damage is quite a lot. It's not minion specific, so you could do 5 damage to face as a finisher, or if you're playing a very aggressive deck. It's very similar to the Fire Elemental, that does 3 damage for its battlecry. And the Fire Elemental has been considered one of a really top tier card. So because this is also a neutral card, I think that every elemental deck is going to be running this card. In number 3 is the Shaman quest, Unite the Murlocs. Its quest, you need to summon 10 Murlocs, and as a reward, you get Mega Fin, a giant 8/8 Murloc for 5 mana. Now this card is just absolutely insane because you don't need to play 10 Murlocs, you just need to summon 10 Murlocs. So a lot of spells, a lot of Murlocs that summon other Murlocs, all synergize with this quest. Summoning 10 Murlocs is not hard at all. Megafin as a 5 mana 8/8 will be a huge swing in the mid game. Not only is your opponent already struggling to deal with the 10 Murlocs that you've already played, on turn 5 you can play an 8/8 that also synergizes with all the Murloc buffs. This is going to be such a scary card. The Unite the Murlocs quest is going to be absolutely insane. It is going to be very difficult to go up against a deck built around this card. In number 2 is also another Shaman card, Volcano. It's 5 mana, deal 15 damage, randomly split among all minions with overload of 2. Now the 2 overload isn't that big of a deal, especially for late game, but 15 damage. It is much better than the Avenging Wrath, and it's randomly split among all minions. So this is such a strong board control card. Shamans can easily trade in their minions and then play this card at 15 damage. Nothing is going to survive. This is just insane for board clears and board control. Did I mention it's only at 5 mana? This is just absolutely insane. This card, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel it's a little bit too overpowered, to be honest. And it's only a rare. Shamans have been getting incredibly powerful cards in the past few expansions. I really don't think they need another overpowered card. But before I get into the number 1 card of the Un'Goro expansion, I just want to say if you enjoyed my video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would really mean so much to me. I'm a small channel and I would really appreciate the support. So that's my 2 seconds of advertisement. On to the number 1 best card in my opinion for this expansion. And it's going to be, drumroll please, Calamos, the Primal Lord. This is the Shaman class legendary, and it is absolutely insane. Its battle cry, if you played an elemental last turn, cast an elemental invocation. Now the elemental invocation can be 4 cards. Either deal 3 damage to all enemy minions, fill your board with 1/1 elementals, deal 6 damage to the enemy hero, or restore 12 health to your hero. And the insane thing is, you get to choose. It's not a random effect. You get to choose between not just 3 out of the 4, but all 4 invocations. So you can decide how to adjust to the current board and the game. I personally think the Invocation of Air and the Invocation of Fire are going to be the most popular. But like I said before, playing an elemental the turn before, and it doesn't matter if that elemental is still alive or not. So that's going to be really strong, especially if you're playing an all-elemental deck. And this is such a good late game card. It fills the 8 mana slot perfectly. It's going to be really strong, and even if you're not playing a Shaman elemental deck, this would, I think, still go into it really well. It is such a strong late game card. And there are just so many good elementals out there. I think that this card is just very strong. So there you go. That's my take on the top 8 cards for Un'Goro. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree, or if you feel that some other cards should have been on here. Like I said, it was very hard just to choose 8 cards because there were just so many cards that were so close to making the cut. But let me know what you think and what your top cards are going to be. As always, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.